Hi everyone, it's Ashley and I'm back to share a new process video with you, and today I have something a little different. This is a process video for one of my Bible journaling pages, and I just wanted to show you the process that I work through when I'm working with a verse. And this is from Psalms 119:105, and it's your word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path is the verse that I'm illustrating here. And so I wanted to create a look on this page that reminded me of light, that's a reflection of light. So I decided to start out with this stencil, and I think this is actually one that I had from when I was on the paper bakery design team. So it's a pretty old stencil, but I like the burst format, and I really wanted to get that on there and use it to go along with that light reference for this verse. So I just started out tracing that mask onto my page, and I'm using the pen, the black pen that comes along with the Bella Boulevard Genesis kit. This is the new product that Bella Boulevard is coordinating with Illustrated Faith to bring you those products, and so that's what I use to outline there on the burst. And you can see that usually when I'm working on a page, I put some kind of scrap chipboard or cardstock in between the pages just to keep any of the mixed media from running. And so next what I'm doing here is I'm going to spray some mist, and I just want that burst shape there to be highlighted, so I just kind of use some of that chipboard to mask off the paper to keep the mist from overflowing onto the page. And I really like that color. It's the yellow, one of the new yellow color shines from Heidi Swapp, and it has kind of a little shiny, sparkly look to it. So I really liked how that turned out. And now I wanted to add some stamping, and so I just used that little kind of sketchy circle stamp there to add to the center of the burst, which kind of reminds me of a sun, which goes along with the light from this verse. And so I just wanted to stamp that a few more times there on that page, and I'm going to do something else with those in just a few minutes. I haven't gotten to that yet, but I also wanted to use an image that goes along with light. So I cut a light bulb cut file. This is one that I have from the cut shop, and I just wanted to add that to reinforce that light theme for the verse. And I cut it in white cardstock, and I'm just using some gelato there to add color. And I wanted to work with oranges, reds, and yellows just because that is the color scheme that reminds me of light. It reminds me of the sun. And so that just, you know, goes along with that verse and his word being a light unto our path. And so once I get the gelato color, I'm just going to staple that on with my tiny attacher. I like to use my tiny attacher in my journaling Bible because it adds a little bit of texture. It's a great way to attach things into your Bible, and it really doesn't add any bulk to your pages because you don't want to do anything too bulky that's going to just make your Bible impossible to close. You want to keep a lot of flat elements in there. And if you don't have a journaling Bible, I know that they've been hard to get lately just because they've become so popular. You could just use a regular Bible and get like an art journal and do these same techniques. You could write the scripture in on the journaling pages and then illustrate it to go along with however you wanted to do it. So you don't have to have a journaling Bible to do these techniques. You can find other ways to do that just using your regular Bible. You could get an old Bible from like a Goodwill store, a thrift store, if you wanted to do it that way and just illustrate over the pages if it doesn't have the margins. But you can see here that I'm illustrating right over the verses on this page and not just keeping it in that margin. But I'm using things that are transparent so you can still see the words. So when I am using my Bible for those other scriptures, I can still read what those say. And so now I'm using, I like to usually like pull out some of the words or the complete verse and add it there in my margin. So I'm just using these little tiny stickers. These are just some from a basic gray sticker sheet, and I'm keeping in with that theme, color theme. And these are kind of a red, dark orange color letter stickers. So I'm just adding those there. At the top it's going to say lamp to my feet, and then under the light bulb I'm going to add those also with light to my path, and I'm going to use the yellow letter stickers for that. And I didn't really speed up a lot of this because usually when I am working in my journaling Bible, depending on what I'm doing, it doesn't take me a really long time to complete the process. So I didn't want to have things sped up in really fast motion, just so you could see easily what I do when I'm working on my page. And it is tedious sometimes to get all those little letter stickers on, but I just wanted to go through the whole process with you so you can see that I'm just adding light to my path. And I like to have a lot of the little tiny letter stickers. I'm not a huge fan of my handwriting. I do add some handwriting in here and there, but I like to have either little stamps, letter stamps, or the little tiny letter stickers, just to add those kind of verses or phrases in without having to use my handwriting, because, like I said, I'm not a huge fan of it. It doesn't always turn out the way that I want it to look. So. And the funny thing is, I just kind of got into doing a little more mixed media on my scrapbook layouts, I guess, over the past year. But I'm not really huge into doing a lot of mixed media on my layouts, but I have gotten better about it. But I feel more free to do a lot of the mixed media in my journaling Bible. I don't know why. I think it's because just like we're a hot mess to God, basically, and so I feel okay being messy in my Bible, because that's, you know, that's what we are. He basically holds us together. So I think in my Bible it's like a bigger expression of, you know, I can do that mixed media and just have all that messy stuff in there, because that's who God knows me to be. So I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem having the paints and the gelatos and the stamping and all that. I really like to just kind of feel like I can do whatever I want to do, or whatever I'm inspired to do, you know, for the verses or the stories that I'm illustrating. And you can see, while I was talking about that, I went back and added that gelato color to the center of the stamps, and I just used a yellow gelato to do that. And so now I'm going to add some watercolor. This is where I get really messy. And I'm just using some orange watercolor. This is Reeves watercolor paint, and I wanted to use a large brush so I could get some big strokes. And so I'm just adding that color right over my whole page. And once it dries, it's really transparent. You can still see all the verses really well. It doesn't cover anything up. So I'm just going to add some yellow too. I wanted to get those different colors on there. And I'm basically just going really right over everything that I already did with the gelatos and the spray mist, and just getting that color on, just to kind of overlay it over the top of all that. And I do let it all dry before I continue to do anything else. I just set it aside to let all that watercolor get dry. And once it was dry, I decided I wanted to take some pens and go in and just add a little bit more of those sketchy circle looks there to the center. And then I'm going to actually, I wanted to add a little bit more to the burst also. So you'll see in a minute, I'm going to grab my ruler and I'm going to add just a center line down some of those triangle shapes, just to re-emphasize that burst, the sunburst look. So you can see I'm doing that there, and just tracing down down my ruler. And I'm not doing each one, I'm just doing every other one, just to get those lines there. And you do want to make sure that your page is really dry if you're using any wet medium, so that it won't rip when you're using the pen. And then I decide that I had already highlighted the verse with some gelato color, but a lot of times I like to go back and kind of just draw a box around it. So I decided to go back with that black pen from Bella Boulevard and just go ahead and highlight that a little more, just to bring it out, since I had a lot of color and a lot of stuff going on there on the page. I just like to kind of highlight the verse that I'm using. And now I'm going to go in. I wanted to get some other word phrases on there. So these are just some words from the Bella Boulevard sticker sheet, and they just have different phrases. And I just pull out the ones that have light references. You can see that it says God is light. And I just go in and get, I think, like 4 different ones. And then that one just has light by itself. And once I get those on, I'm going to use my tiny attacher just to secure those a little bit more. to make sure that they don't fall out or come off the page. And then that one said reflection of, so I just clipped off of just to have the word reflection there. And then I wanted to do filled because we are filled with God's light as believers. And so here you'll see me using the tiny attacher, and that pretty much wraps it up. I hope you enjoyed watching my process for my journaling Bible, and you can check out the Illustrated Faith website for more information and for our new products with Bella Boulevard. Thanks for watching.